All right, we are back. This is K-Talk Radio. You're listening to 1640 AM. This is the show, Utah Home Sweet Home. I'm your host, Yoshi Shiraki, and we have a very special guest, Jeff Braylio, who is here with us. We're talking about yes, talking about crushing your goals. You know, so many people set these goals, but then they fall off and basically don't execute on them. I heard a recording. I think it was from the 1950s. Earl Nightingale, old radio personality, had said, if you don't have a plan to get to a destination, you're never going to get there. Right. And he said, think about this. He goes, every ship, every battleship, every cruise ship, unless a tragedy happens, when the captain leaves the dock, they always get to where they're going because they know where they want to go, and there's a road map in front of them to get there. He says, if you took that same boat and took everybody off the boat and just pushed it off the dock, most likely it won't get very far. Maybe not even past the harbor before it crashes into something, because now it has no destination. You have to know where you want to go to get there. Right. And I love sharing this example. I always talk about pursuing a goal without a roadmap or a coach or a mentor who's done this before. It's very, very difficult. Possible, sure, but very, very difficult. And the example I'd like to give is, let's just say, Jeff, you were in Toronto, Canada. Okay. And I said, Jeff, I want you to drive to Panama City, but you cannot use Siri, Alexa, Google Maps. You can't even use a paper map. I just want you to get in your car in Toronto, and I want you to drive to Panama City. Okay? So listen to how, which is possible, right? But this is the point here. So you're going to get in your car, you're going to drive through, you're starting in Toronto, Canada, and as you enter the United States, the very first state that you should, according to Google Maps, because I Google mapped it. Okay. I used a map to prove this point. The very first state, for a lot of you who are listening, you probably have no idea, but it's Michigan, right? So you're going to come from Toronto, Canada, and you're going to enter the U.S. in the state of Michigan. You'll have probably driven 4 or 5 hours, you're going to get ready to fill up your tank, you're going to go to the gas station, put more gas in your car. You'll go to the gas station attendant and say, hey, listen, I'm trying to get to Panama City, Mr. Michigan gas station man. Am I headed in the right direction? And he's going to tell you, I think if you take that freeway, you should be good. Long and behold, 4 hours later, you fill up at gas again in some random town, and he tells you, oh, no, you took the wrong freeway. Go back 4 hours and take that freeway. This is what it's like when people ask for advice from their friends or family to achieve a goal that their friends or family haven't achieved either. Yeah. Right? You get a lot of bad advice. A lot of bad advice. Yes. So from Michigan, then you'll go to Indiana. Now, I'm not even talking about the cities. We're going state to state, right? So think about like you're in Michigan, and now you got to figure out how to get to Michigan. But the next state is Indiana. From Indiana, it's Illinois. From Illinois, you'll then drive through Missouri. From Missouri, it's Arkansas. Arkansas, it's Texas. Okay, once you hit Texas, then you'll leave the United States and you'll get into Mexico. Now, I'm not even talking about states anymore. We're going to go strictly countries. But somehow from Mexico, without a map, to hit your goal, you're going to have to figure out how to get to Guatemala. From Guatemala, all the states in Mexico and cities, you're going to somehow end up in Guatemala. From Guatemala, it's Honduras. From Honduras, it's El Salvador. From El Salvador, it's Nicaragua. From Nicaragua, it's Costa Rica. From Costa Rica, it's Panama. And then once you are in the country of Panama, now you have to figure out how to get to Panama City. And let's say I gave you an exact address of where I'm staying. Now you got to find, in a country that doesn't even speak English, how to get to this 1234 House Street in Panama City. Possible, but can you imagine how difficult that would be? The time wasted. The time wasted, the money on gas wasted that you can turn in the wrong direction. Yep. Food that you have to buy for the 3 days you went the wrong way. Yeah. Hotels for 3 extra nights or whatever. Right. So unless you have a roadmap that tells you exactly how to get there, or a coach, in the case that someone who does this drive regularly and says, yeah, we're going to take this road, I do it all the time. And somebody who's done it before, it's why, in my opinion, people fail at their goals so much. Because they don't have a map and they don't have a mentor or a coach, right? They just set out to do something without knowing how to do it. They ask their friends and family for advice who also don't know how to do it. And then they see very little production and success, so then they drop to failure. Right. Right? So, do you put together... Oh, you had mentioned this earlier, just for the listeners out there, Jeff, my guest. That me? Yes. We have a friend named Riley Rogers, who is in apartment development. Jordan Akin, who is also in apartment multifamily development. And Tyler Tolbert, who is a multifamily investor. And then Jeff, of course, and then myself. We meet every December, around Christmas.
Yep.
And we have a New Year's resolution goal setting dinner, and we hold each other accountable till the following year. We've done this for 8 years now consistently. And we'll share with one another what our goals are for the following year, and then we keep up with each other to see how everyone's doing, and if anyone needs help, we're happy to help. Do you typically, you mentioned earlier you use coaches, a lot of coaches. Do you use road maps or anything like that to kind of help you achieve goals? Like for instance, running a marathon, you have a map that says run 3 miles today, tomorrow 6.
Yeah, you can just kind of use running as an example.
Yep.
When I first decided, I ran that first half marathon, and then I just started running on my own.
Yeah.
Just building mileage, talking to other runners, jumping in races, and then a few years later, I actually joined a team.
Awesome.
A racing team, and I started practicing and running about 3 days a week, 3 to 4 days a week, with the same set of guys.
Okay.
Who were experienced marathoners, experienced competitors, highly capable, very knowledgeable. I was the slowest runner of the group, and there's a little bit of intimidation.
Sure.
Right? But these guys were doing things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to get to where they were. I wanted to run as fast as they did.
Yep.
And I knew there was no way for me to run that fast unless I trained with people who were already doing it.
Right.
And as soon as I started running with those guys, everything changed. Everything changed.
Right.
Times were dropping. I started placing better and feeling better and running faster. And I would work with them to create my roadmap of how many miles, what kind of workouts, how, when in the day I would do it,
Right.
how I would supplement my food intake for the extra miles and everything like that.
Right.
So yeah, to get those goals was a huge roadmap.
Yep.
Almost always relying on people who were more experienced,
Yes.
who could tell me what they did to get there.
Right.
And then being part of that team that kept me accountable. So Saturday mornings,
Yeah.
4:30 a.m., 12 months a year, even when it was 9 degrees outside,
Oh, geez.
we either met to race or met to train.
Got
every
it.
Saturday morning for years.
Wow.
And I enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
again, that's great.
Yeah.
It brought me a lot of fulfillment, loved doing it, found people who were better, and things worked really, really well.
That's awesome.
And I apply the same things in business and real estate. You've got to find your why, find that true achievement that you really, really desire and want.
Yeah.
It's going to motivate you, and then you've got to sit down and plan out all the little steps
Right.
to get to your final achievement. And that's, people set that end goal as the goal.
Right.
But that's not, you can't set that as a goal.
Right.
Well, that's the goal, that's not the step. You've got to
Yeah.
then complete all the steps and set mini goals to get those little steps, and all those steps are going to get you to your main goal.
Right. That's huge. Because if you would have been the fastest of that group, you probably wouldn't have increased your speed.
Yeah, no.
You have
I
to-
would have been helping others,
Yeah.
and that's what coaches do.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But at that time, I needed a coach.
You
I
wanted
needed
to go
people.
where they were.
That's right.
Yeah. So that became the norm to see this
right.
group run this fast. That became the norm.
Yeah, it was like when I did the first half, I'm like, I just ran 13 miles.
Yeah.
And I'm fine.
Yeah.
I didn't die.
Yeah.
And then you go, these guys, and suddenly I'm doing mile sprints
Right.
at 4.5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
And I never thought I'd run under a 5-minute mile. And
Oh
then
my
my
gosh.
my marathon mile pace came down.
Wow.
And and it's those little mental achievements, but if you set that big goal, you're not going to get it right off.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be disappointed.
Right.
But you set those little goals, those steps
Yes.
in the process to get your final achievement, then you get lots of little successes.
Exactly.
And you get more excited.
You stay
and
motivated.
You stay motivated, and you're much more likely to hit the end goal.
I love it. What was your, just out of curiosity, marathon mile time? Like
My
each
pace?
one? Yeah, your pace.
My best marathon pace in an official race was
Yeah.
it was under a 6-minute pace.
Holy cow! So I ran one marathon. I did the New York Marathon, and I did it in a 12-minute pace. So yeah, you were half. You got done half.
Yes.
Sooner than half.
You were halfway done when I was finished.
Exactly. You finished. You were by the time
I was getting a massage.
Exactly. You were eating dinner. By the time
I
we
was
were
probably I was already at Wendy's getting hamburgers.
Exactly.